hiking 80 miles across the Isle of Skye. Spring had well and truly begun in the Scottish Highlands. The skies were blue, the sun was out, and it felt like the perfect time for a long-distance hiking adventure. I'd be following a trail which stretches 80 miles across the Isle of Skye, starting in Ruahunish and finishing in Broadford.
Oh, not too bad of you.
I would be carrying everything I need in my backpack, pitching my tent wherever I could.
What a mental place this is to camp.
With crystal clear waters, airy coastal paths, and world-renowned rock formations round every corner, this trail felt like no other. So with 80 miles ahead of me, and adventure on the horizon, all I had to do was start walking. Hello? What's that? The people should like and subscribe. Alright, okay, I'll let them know. Thanks. Bye. I don't blame you if you switch off straight away. But welcome to the official start point of the Skye Trail. I'm in a random telephone box to shelter from the wind because it is pretty wild out there. But I've got 80 miles of pretty rough terrain ahead of me, and I couldn't be more excited. This is a trail that I've been wanting to do for quite a while, and I'm raring to go, so let's do it. Ooh, that is a stiff door. Just getting blown by this wind as well. But look at this unbelievable place. Just look at that. Absolutely insane. But I'm heading up this way towards the coast. So let's do it. So I am hiking the trail from north to south, but you can't quite get a bus to the most northern point. So I've been dropped off and I've now got just over a mile of hiking to get to the Ruahunish coast, I think it's called. So I'm actually heading away from all these mountains behind me and towards the coast, but once I get there I'm sort of turning back around, heading a slightly different way, following the coast and going towards those mountains. So yeah, it's almost like a wee loop, but I'm actually kind of glad because I kind of want to see the coast. But you might be able to tell it's quite windy today, so I'd imagine it's going to be even more windy when I get there. Wow, this place is so windswept. This is crazy. Just look at the views now though. That's towards the west coast of the island, and that's the route I'm going to be taking, heading in this direction and then following the coast all the way around, and then I'll start heading south towards those incredible mountains. But yeah, let's try and get to the coast in one piece. This wind is crazy. Here is the first of many gates, I'd imagine. This one doesn't look too difficult. Man, it's boggy though. There we go. This is my first time on the Isle of Skye, so I'm seeing everything for the first time, and the weather is exactly as I expected it to be. This has been a bit of a brutal introduction with this wind. Looks like I'm not too far though. I think that might be the coast just up ahead, because I can't see much land beyond these little hills. Not too far at all. Oh wow, looks like there's a little building up here. Let's go and explore, maybe get some shelter. Looks like the door is round this other side. Get me out of this wind. That is mental. Right, let's have a look inside. Oh, that's so much better. This is cool. There's a couple of bunk beds there. Some insane views out the window. Looks like there's another room in here. Oh. What? That is insane. This is a proper little lookout. Look at those views. And you can see the boats going by. That's incredible. I can't get over these views. That's something else. And that is the North Sea out there. So if you kept on heading in that direction, you would reach the Outer Hebrides, and then even further would be Iceland. And the Faroe Islands as well are somewhere out there. Right, let's go. Can't stay here all day. Right, let's go. Well, the wind has died down a little bit, but it's still pretty bad. And it turns out I'm actually following along the coastline for the rest of today, which means it's probably going to be windy for all of it, which is a little bit brutal. This is actually a nice wee sheltered spot, a wee sort of cove. Absolutely beautiful. You can see where I've come from. I've just been passing scattered houses every so often. But look at this place. It really is stunning. I've decided to come inland just a little bit. I'm now following this quiet road because a combination of that relentless wind and a lack of sleep, I literally feel like I've been hit by a train. Got a killer headache. Pretty brutal, but oh well, continue on. As I get closer and closer to these mountains over here, they just get more impressive. Absolutely insane. I think I'm actually heading up sort of in that direction. What a view. I've managed to find a beautiful spot to camp for the night at Loch Langage, I want to say it's pronounced. It's probably not that, but that's close enough. It's still pretty windy here, which is unfortunate, but I'm just going to sit here for a little bit and then I'll get my tent up because I'm pretty keen to get out of the wind. Not a bad spot to chill out though, is it? Something else. Oh wow, it is a lot calmer this morning. That is beautiful. Well, good morning everyone and welcome to day 2 on the Skye Trail. I've just left my campsite behind and I'm heading towards the mountains for what seems to be the hardest day of the entire trail, ascent-wise anyway. I'm going to be heading up to the highest point of the whole trail at just under 700 metres above sea level, and it's shaping up to be an absolutely stunning morning. So I'd imagine the views today are going to be something else. The trail is starting off really good and you can see I'm just heading up and up and up. This is the loch that I camped at last night. That's beautiful. I was on a wee grassy spot just on the edge of it over there, and you can see the sea behind that and then mainland Scotland in the distance. Wow, what a beautiful morning. These mountains I'm heading towards look otherworldly. It's like the Quarang or something it's called. And I think I'm going to be following along just below this huge cliff face. But these mountains are insane. They're just so steep. Really impressive. Oof, this is tough with a big heavy pack on. I think my pack weighs about 14 kilos and I'm only carrying 1 litre of water as well. So all the rest of my stuff must just weigh quite a lot. Oh, definitely makes it a lot more difficult. So worth it for these views though. Just keep getting better and better. I'm heading up in that direction. Oh, look how cool those rock formations are. And I can actually see where I've come from. So all the way down there is the loch that I camped at. Looks ages away now, and there's another little loch down there. Oh man, I'm heading up there though. Wow, amazing. This path is wild. It's not overly scary, but you do need to have a bit of a head for heights. But just look at the views, out to sea, and then up ahead, just round this corner, I should be able to see the whole of the Trotternish Ridge that I'm going to be following along. Oh my days. Just look at that. I think I actually need to go around this pillar type thing. You can see the path just down there, and then I'll be able to see the whole of the ridge. I don't know how many times I've said insane and what a view, but I'm just blown away. Another wee style here. Ow! I made it. It's back to being really windy again, unfortunately. I think we're just quite exposed. But this big pillar behind me is called the prison. I don't have a clue why it's called that. I just know it's cool to look at. If you've come to this video for information, you've come to the wrong one. Right, let's continue on. Oh, there we go. It really has opened up. That is incredible. So I think that mountain in the far distance is called the Store. And then this one is Hartaval. Or that might be Hartaval to be honest, but Hartaval is the tallest point that I'm going to be going on the ridge. The Store is a little bit taller, but you come off of that just before, but look at that. Insane. I'm sort of heading in this direction up onto the ridge and then following it up and down, all the way in the distance. The Trotternish Ridge. Incredible. There was some sort of a food van there at that car park, but unfortunately it's not open yet. It's just gone 9 o'clock in the morning, so I'd imagine it's a bit too early. Would have been nice to have a wee cold drink or something because it's quite warm. It's like 15 degrees Celsius and the sun just makes it feel worse. But ah well, sure I'll get one further along the trail. Up onto the ridge it is for me though. I can actually see where I've come from, so that little pinnacle there is the prison that I pointed out. I came through that gap, followed along that trail. Amazing. Right, let's do it, up onto the ridge. There's loads of sheep here just chilling, munching grass and enjoying that view. I don't blame them. I wish I could do the same. Not the grass bit, but the view. Oh, here we are. The top of Ben Edra, 611 metres above sea level. That was pretty tough at times. Lots of pathless sections, and then I ended up following a string of fences that sticks close to the cliff edge, and there was a path there. Oh man, I'm glad to be up here. That was tough. Oh, that feels amazing to get this big heavy pack off. And there's a bit of a wind break here as well, so I think I'm gonna take a wee 10-minute break. Got some wraps and chorizo for lunch, and man, I've earned it. That's where I've come from, miles away. I've made it to the top of another one of these little hills. Oh, touch the cairn. And you can see just how many there are. There's another one there on the right, and it just follows along, up and down the entire way until the end. Really is quite a distance. Whoever designed these hills needs fired. Why did it have to be up and down, up and down? Why couldn't they have just made it one gradual slope? Oh, terrible. But I'm hoping to complete the whole of the Trotterness Ridge today, because I don't really fancy camping up high if it's going to be this windy. So yeah, I've got quite a distance ahead of me, so I'm not really taking too long when I take a break. It also gets quite cold when you're just sitting about in the wind. But yeah, now that I'm back and moving again, it's not too bad. There we go. That is the view that I was hoping for. The Coolin Ridge, just stretching across the skyline. I think there's 11 Munros on that ridge, and they are some of the hardest in the country. Oh my days. Wait till you see what I'm seeing right now. This place is absolutely insane. Just look at that. What on earth? Just 3 huge pillars. I wonder if anyone's ever climbed those. That is just mental. So this is the Old Man of Storr, and I'm absolutely blown away by this place. I don't know what it looks like on camera, but you just feel so small surrounded by these huge rocks. Oh man, absolutely insane. I'm just gonna sit here for a while and just soak it all in. This is an amazing place. This is the main path just up here, and I've managed to find a really nice spot for the tent. Nice and sheltered from the wind, and you have to come away from the path to be able to see it. Just down there. And look what I'm surrounded by. Mental. I'm actually a little bit worried about these fallen boulders. If one of them lands in my tent, I'm a goner. Hopefully it doesn't. Right, let's continue. Do a bit more exploring. So this is right next to the main path that heads down. I'm going to be following that path tomorrow. You can see the fence posts, and look at this. Oh, that was a wee like bunny or mountain hare. It's pretty cool. Anyway, look at that view over to the mainland. Incredible. Right, I think this is as far as I'm going to go. Wow, just look at that. Looking out to sea towards the mainland. And I'll just never tire of seeing these views. The scale of everything around here is just immense. Insane. And my tent is over in that direction, just in that little hole I managed to find. Man, it's windy up here. Right, I think I'm just going to enjoy these views for 5 more minutes and then head back to the tent, try and get some sleep. What a mental place this is to camp. Well, good morning everyone, and welcome to day 3 on the Skye Trail. I am leaving the Old Man of Storr behind, and that has to be one of the coolest places I've ever camped. Absolutely amazing. I was just nestled in there amongst all the big rocks and boulders. I actually heard a few falling during the night, but luckily I didn't get squashed. And I'm heading down to the coast. I think I'm dropping about 500 metres, which is nice to have a bit of decline at the start of the day. So let's do it. Just look at this. Absolutely insane. You can see the route that I'm following down, just down there. And then the sea. Sun rising over there. Beautiful. And then you've got the Storr up behind me. And I camped somewhere in there. Incredible. Right, let's do it. These steps are great. You can absolutely fly down the side of this hill. Not too difficult. Man, just look at that. That is insane. I'm dropping down a little bit further in that direction, but I just need to take a couple minutes and enjoy that view. That is just wild. I've just passed another shop slash cafe type thing, but it doesn't open until 10 o'clock, and I think it's 9:05 right now, so I don't really want to wait around. Seems like everyone on the Isle of Skye is busy catching Z's, but I'm banking on getting something like a cold drink or something like that in Portree, and I think it said it's like 6.5 miles away, so not too bad, because it's actually roasting hot now. Now that I've dropped down, I'm out of the wind and the sun is blazing, but I can't complain about that. This tarmac is so nice to walk on, but I don't think it's going to last very long. I'm heading up onto that ridge that you can see over there, and then the town of Portree is somewhere in the distance. This is Loch Leathan, I think, which is really nice. I've come from that direction. That's the Storr just up there. But yeah, I can absolutely munch up the miles on this tarmac track. Well, the tarmac was nice while it lasted, but this is where it ends. Onto the footpath. My next target, that big old lump in front of me. Ah yes, I've made it to the first summit and I can see my route ahead. I think that's the next one, up there, and Portree is in that little bay there. Got the Coolin Ridge behind it. Wow. Over to the mainland. Just 360 degrees, incredible views. These guys have it right. Just chilling up here with these amazing views. Oh, the views just keep on getting better. Looks like I've got one more lump to go up and over, and then I can drop down to the town. And it's the tallest of the entire ridge. Not too bad though, is it? Not bad at all. Right, I think I'm gonna take a wee break here for 5 to 10 minutes, rest my legs, and then I'm sprinting down to Portree. I think that's a pretty good plan. What about this weather, by the way? How lucky have I been? It's not normally like this in Scotland. Oh, cannot beat it. What about that, by the way? That is some view. Oh yes, here we are, the top of the ridge. Man, that feels good. And I can now see Portree down there. No time to waste, let's get down there. Oof, those are some serious drops. Wow, I think I'll be staying away from that edge. It's pretty mental. I think this is the highest I'll be for the rest of the trip. So it's all downhill from here. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. I'm excited to get out of this wind as well. I feel like I've been walking in it for 3 days straight. Hoping it's nice and calm down there. Unreal. Oh, that was absolutely unreal. I got chips and a can of Pepsi. Not the healthiest, but after all that hiking, oh, nothing tastes better. I wish I had about 10 of them. Unreal. A little bit of roadside walking to get out of Portree, but I'm sure I'll be away from the road pretty soon. The trail is taking me away from the road again. I can still hear it. It's just up to the right, but I can't see it. Instead, I can see this. Amazing. That's the sea over there. And this is sort of just a dried up seabed. Beautiful. And see the smell here. Oh, just like that fresh sea smell. So nice. What an amazing place. Onto the road we go, and I think I'm going to be following this for the next like 6 or 7 miles. Welcome to Loch Sleachen. I originally planned to camp somewhere along this side of the loch here, but it doesn't really look like there's many spots, so I think I'm going to continue on. I was hoping to stop pretty soon because I've already done about 20 miles today, or just over 20 miles, and I'm definitely feeling it in the legs. I also feel a little bit sunburnt, which I did not expect in Scotland. It says it's 3 miles to the end of Loch Sleachen, and there's a campsite at the far end of the loch. So I think I might just stick on some tunes and try and smash this 3 miles. And it also means that I'll have slightly less to do tomorrow, which is ideal. It makes it seem like so much further when you can actually see where you're going. It looks like such a distance to the end of that loch. And I'm just going to be following the right hand side all the way along here. I wish I could just teleport over there right now. Oh well, it won't be too long till I'm at the campsite. No way. I'm on my way to the campsite and I've just spotted a bunch of seals just on the shore down there. And there's quite a few in the loch as well. That is so cool. There's actually so many of them just chilling down there. I'm glad I continued on just for that. As you can see though, there's just nowhere to camp. Oh, they're all going in the loch. Yeah, there's just nowhere to camp along here. It's pretty steep. There was one spot all the way back there, and just my luck, there was a guy camping. He'd already bagged the spot. I don't blame him. Alright, I think it's my time to leave the seals. That is so cool though. Right, let's get to the campsite. So this is where I am right now, Sleachen campsite, and I'm going all the way down here to Elgall, across, up, and then all the way down round here and back to Broadford, which is the finish point of the Skye Trail. Good morning everyone, and welcome to day 4 of the Skye Trail. That was an amazing stay in that campsite last night. I had a great sleep and I managed to have a shower, so I feel semi-human again. And yeah, I'm just refreshed and ready for another day of exploring. The views have really opened up now. I can see where I'm heading in the distance. I think I'm going all the way along here and then on the other side of this big hill. So sort of along there. Doesn't look too bad. These mountains are unlike any I've ever seen. The steepness of them and just how rocky they are. It really is something. I'm actually really lucky that the weather is how it is, with the visibility being so good. This isn't actually a signposted trail. There is a specific route that you follow, but there's no waymarks, you don't get any help along the way. You need to go solely off maps, which means that if the clag was down and there was poor visibility, I could imagine that navigation would be pretty difficult. But luckily this whole week, the weather's been incredible, so I've had no problems. What a camp spot that would be. Just right there. That's your view. And you've got a little water source. Absolutely perfect. Right, now I need to try and find my way across this little river. Seems like there's some pretty decent stepping stones. Do not want to get wet feet here. Oh. Right, I made it. Not too bad. Absolute madman.
doing this on a bike. It's hard enough walking. This is just a different world, this place. So you've got Garven over there, Blaven there, which I think means the Blue Mountain. Look at that ridge there. And then round here, you've got Sgurnan Gillen, which I saw from the other angle down there. And then the main Coolin Ridge. And I think that one there, the really pointy one, might be the Inaccessible Pinnacle, which I think the name just speaks for itself. I ended up doing about 25 miles yesterday, or maybe slightly less, but I'm hoping to do a lot less today, maybe like 15 or 16 miles, and I've already done almost half of that and it's only 12 o'clock, so I might even have some time to rest up when I get to the tent, maybe finish a little bit early, but we'll see how it goes. I've passed loads of these just dried up riverbeds. It's just been a lack of rain recently, which is not normal in Scotland. The moon is actually out. That's pretty cool. I'm just blown away by this place. Right, let's continue on. Should be a slightly bigger loch just round this corner. There it is, just up ahead. I can see it shimmering in the sun. Oh, this is a beautiful spot. Little pebble beach there. I'm actually going to take a break here. I think this is the perfect spot. Look how nice this is. Got views up to the mountains. A little bit of a breeze. And the sound of the lapping water. So peaceful. I've had to crack out the shorts because I'm actually cooking in this heat. I don't know how people do it. I don't know how they hike in these sorts of temperatures. Madness. Looks like there's some sort of house there in the distance. Let's go and see. That is a house. Imagine living there with those views. That is sick. I've just passed Camasunary Bay and there was a bothy there, and I didn't even know that's where I was until I went in the bothy and saw the sign, because that is quite a famous part of the Skye Trail. The views from the bothy were insane, out to some of the other islands that make up Scotland like Rum and Egg. Just an amazing place, to be honest, and it looks like I'm going to be following the coast for a wee while now. If you're scared of heights, this path is not the one. That is just a straight drop off there. Madness. It's absolutely beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it is pretty scary. Oof. Jeez, man. That is some drop. This part of the trail is no joke. Probably the hardest so far, but we're getting there. Just hugging the coastline. Oh, not too bad a view. I've come just a few miles on, and this is the path here, and I've managed to find a nice wee spot to pitch my tent among those trees. There is a house just down there, but I think I'm hidden enough. And that's the sea over there, and Broadford is somewhere in that direction, which is where I'll be heading to tomorrow. It's a nice wee spot. So yeah, I'm just gonna get some rest, and I'll see you for some more hiking in the morning. Good morning everyone, and welcome to day 5 and the final day of the Skye Trail. That was a really nice spot I managed to find last night. Quite peaceful, and it was nice to be among the trees, just listening to the birds chirping all night. The only issue is, it was absolutely crawling with ticks, including probably the biggest tick I've ever seen. I don't know if there was maybe a lot of sheep nearby or deer, but I didn't really see many, so just watch out if you're going to camp there. But I'm basically making my way into Broadford today. Seems like there's a decent bit of roadside walking. These roads seem to be really quiet anyways. There's only like a few houses, so not many people coming along them. And I camped in those woods just over there. Really nice spot. Just look at the views. Stunning. And I'm heading in this direction. Starting off the day with incline is not fun. It just keeps going all the way up there. Nearly there. Ah, nice. It looks like I'm coming off the road now. It seems like this is a short detour away from the road for maybe about 2 or 3 miles, and then I'm going to be joining back on the road and heading in the direction of Broadford, which is where the trail ends. But it's nice to get away from the road for a little bit, and I think this is actually the biggest incline I've got left on the trip, which is amazing news. It means for the rest of it I should be either going downhill or fairly flat, which is ideal. Right, come on. Last big incline, and then we're downhill. Let's do it. Well, I think I've passed the highest point. There's a little gate here. Oh. And just over this little lump should be a settlement. Yep, there is. That is Torrin down there. That's my next stop. And Broadford is somewhere in that direction. I think that might be Loch Slappin down there. Just shimmering in the sun. But yeah, next stop, Torrin. Bye bye Torrent. Let's go to Broadford. It's a nice wee place, Torrent. There's not much going on, but it is a nice wee place. Just lots of houses dotted around. And this is the last settlement before Broadford. So we're getting close to the end of the trail now. You know what? As road walks go, this one isn't too bad. There's some nice views out to sea through the trees, and it's pretty quiet. It's actually quite peaceful. I'm really enjoying it. The amount of gates you pass through on these long distance hikes, it's insane. Oh, that one's not too bad. How is it to close? Not too bad. There you go. 3.5 kilometres to Broadford. Not too bad at all. Like 2 miles around that. One last gate to finish it off. Looks like this one's broken. Makes it easier for me, to be fair. Not so easy to get it back on though. There we go. And that's the road down there. And I came from that direction. I was hiking along the coast a little bit, really windy, but beautiful. I can't believe how fast today has felt. It always seems to happen on these long distance trails. The final day, you're just sort of enjoying the walking and the miles fly in. But I'm only 2 miles away from the end of the trail, which is mental, and what a trip it's been. The Isle of Skye is something else. I'll definitely have to come back. And how lucky have I been with the weather? It's not normally this nice in Scotland, I can promise you that. But I'm just gonna make my way into Broadford and have the biggest feast you can imagine. I can't wait. So the Isle of Skye, you've been amazing, and I'll catch you on the next adventure.